Star Wars: The Han Solo Adventures was the first entry in what would become the expanded universe. Side note, most people don't count the previously released Splinters of the Mind's Eye, as it was originally written as a low-budget sequel to Star Wars, before Star Wars came out and turned out to be such a tremendous success that Lucas could do whatever he wanted with the series. Also, I guess the holiday special was out before this, and nobody ignores that, because it's just too fun not to acknowledge. Anyway, moving on. The setting for these adventures is pretty cool, and shows off all the badass, imagination-inspiring stuff that the Star Wars universe is capable of. The corporate sector was formed around a region of space that has about 100,000 systems that for some reason never developed sentient life. This immediately puts the question into the reader's mind. Why, in a universe as diversely populated as the Star Wars galaxy, would there be a place like this? And the Star Wars universe, being a big, weird-ass mix of sci-fi and fantasy, provides many possibilities. Super weapons, dark side magic, migration, enslavement, disease. The possibilities for the origin of this small corner of the galaxy are endless. Shit, I guess it could even have been some weird coincidence. It's pretty much always good for a story to invite you to think more about it. In the light of the current climate, it is especially cool to realize that the first thing that the real EU did was establish that there was more to the galaxy than the Empire and the rebels trying to fight them. Actually, it makes me kind of sad to realize that the mouse destroyed the EU galaxy and any believability in their own just to maintain that dichotomy. Wait, I need to focus. I mean, sure, I'm only rereading and reviewing this again after all these years as part of a petty, pointless revenge scheme where I talk about the one thing and not the other thing. But seriously, moving on. The battle for Star's End, Money Lane, Han's accidental church, Chewbacca's hat, Plesiosaur racing, Z95 headhunters. It's amazing the amount of little details like these that have stuck with me and woven themselves into my understanding of the Star Wars galaxy. For example, Han and Chewie have this ongoing wager for who can rack up the most kills when they are both manning the guns on the Falcon. Think Legolas and Gimli. There is something of an element of chance to this game because each gun covers a separate hemisphere. There's no guarantee that they'll both have a shot at the enemy. But along the equator of the ship, there is this region where both guns are capable of hitting the target, meaning kills there have a chance to be earned by either one of them. Because they each have a chance, bogeys down here count for 2 points. Han and Chewie call this Money Lane. I shit you not, I have thought about Money Lane every single time a turret level has come up in a video game for the last 25 or so years, especially if it's a co-op situation. But as good as the details I remembered were, the details I forgot about or wouldn't have noticed back then were even better, like the expert precision with which Han's character was handled in these stories. Brian Daley, the author, had to walk an incredibly thin line. Han needs to be doing heroic stuff in this story, but he hasn't had that moment to choose to do the heroic thing yet. This is a guy who likes to shoot first. Too bad we don't always get what we want. Han Solo at Star's End, the first story in the trilogy, handled it best by giving Han more than a few moments where he almost took the good turn before finding some selfish reason to justify his actions, showing that Han always had this core of good, but was suppressing it for one reason or another. The fact that these stories are a book, and we get this be in Han's mind, really helps out here. It would be difficult to communicate this sort of internal conflict within any other medium. The rest of the characters are just the type of colorful weirdos you'd expect to be hanging around with Han and Chewie. There's a Khajiit, an otter, and a millipede to represent the bizarre alien life of the galaxy. I suppose modern commenters might wonder where all the classic aliens are. Focus. Unfortunately, most of these characters are pretty dispensable, with very few even getting mentioned in any future Star Wars media. But I do have to highlight Bullock's and Blue Max 1.5 droid characters who almost steal the show at several points. Blue Max is a state-of-the-art hacking and information retrieval droid whose body is little more than a box with a photoceptor on it. This guy is the primordial companion cube. He has a bright, sunny personality and is filled with the optimism of youth. He mostly lives inside of Bullock's, an ancient labor droid who has traveled the whole galaxy doing various odd jobs. They join Han and Chewie for all 3 adventures and basically do the normal droid stuff like getting the heroes out of whatever impossible situation they've gotten themselves into. The one other standout character is the gunslinger Galandro. He's a pretty cool proto-Boba Fett, portrayed as the fastest gun in the galaxy. He's a memorable villain who challenges Han on his own level. The Star Wars galaxy is huge and full of potential storylines. Unfortunately, there's almost a lifetime worth of them already waiting to be experienced. Maybe it's some product of these stories being released so near to the originals, or maybe the author just immediately got this universe. But for whatever reason, the Han Solo Adventures remains an excellent entry in the Star Wars expanded universe. Till the next one, here's to time well wasted. Bum 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 ba-da-dum. Bum 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 dun dun da-da-da.